It's November 15, 2025, and as the sun rises over California, a familiar challenge greets millions of residents. Once again, Californians are feeling the sting at the gas pump, a pain that seems to return with every new season. The state's average price for a gallon of regular unleaded is $4.67, over $1.50 more than the national average, and for many, that difference adds up quickly. For millions of drivers, this isn't just a number on a sign. It's a daily financial strain that ripples through every aspect of life. From groceries to savings, from weekend plans to long-term dreams. High gas prices shape where people live, how far they commute, and the way families budget for everything else. For some, it means tough choices, cutting back on essentials, or rethinking daily routines. Meanwhile, Governor Gavin Newsom is in Brazil at the COP30 Climate Summit, promoting California as a global leader in climate action and environmental innovation. This split-screen moment, residents struggling with rising costs while their governor touts ambitious green policies abroad, underscores a central conflict at the heart of California's identity. How do you balance ambitious climate goals with the immediate needs of ordinary people? Can progress on the environment come without sacrificing affordability and economic security? California's high gas prices are directly tied to its climate initiatives. Policies that aim to reduce emissions, encourage cleaner fuels, and set a national example, but also drive up costs at the pump. The state is at the forefront of a national debate. Can you fight climate change without overburdening families? Or is there always a trade-off between environmental progress and economic pain? Understanding this link is crucial to grasping California's direction and what it could mean for the rest of the country as other states watch and weigh their own choices. The pain at the pump is more than an inconvenience. It's a test of policy priorities, a daily reminder of the real-world impact of decisions made in Sacramento and beyond. As the nation watches, California's experiment could shape America's energy future, influencing how we all think about the cost of progress. The question remains, at what cost does progress come, and who ultimately pays the price for a greener tomorrow? Governor Newsom's appearance at COP30 is no accident. He's positioning California as a climate powerhouse on the world stage. As he steps up to the podium, Newsom isn't just representing his state, he's making a statement that California is ready to lead where others hesitate. His presence signals a bold commitment to tackling the climate crisis, not just for Californians, but for the global community. With the U.S. federal government stepping back, Newsom claims California is filling the leadership void. He argues that when Washington falters, Sacramento steps up, setting ambitious targets and pushing for real change. California's policies are now shaping the national conversation, and Newsom is determined to keep the momentum going. He touts a 21% drop in emissions since 2000, alongside an 81% surge in GDP. For Newsom, these numbers are proof that environmental responsibility and economic prosperity aren't mutually exclusive. He points to California's thriving tech and green energy sectors as evidence that bold climate action can drive innovation and growth. The message, economic growth and environmental protection can go hand in hand. Newsom's administration is betting on clean technology, investing in jobs that support both the planet and the economy. The hope is to inspire other states, and even countries, to follow California's lead. California now runs on 2/3 clean energy, and is phasing out new gas-powered cars. The state is rapidly expanding its network of charging stations and incentivizing electric vehicle adoption, aiming to make clean transportation accessible to all. These efforts are transforming California's landscape and setting new standards for sustainability. Newsom's pitch: the California model is a blueprint for global decarbonization. He's urging world leaders to adopt aggressive targets, invest in renewables, and embrace innovation. For Newsom, the fight against climate change is a shared responsibility that transcends borders. But back home, his climate push is deeply divisive. Critics argue that the costs are too high, and some communities worry about job losses in traditional industries. The debate over how to balance progress and protection is fierce, and the stakes are personal for many Californians. President Trump calls climate change a con job, and has rolled back California's stricter vehicle emissions rules. The clash between state and federal policies has become a defining battle in America's energy debate, with each side claiming to represent the nation's true interests. Newsom's international campaign is as much about challenging Trump's energy agenda as it is about climate action. He's rallying allies abroad, seeking to build coalitions that can withstand political headwinds at home. For Newsom, the stakes are nothing less than the future of the planet. The result, two starkly different visions for America's energy future. One path leads toward renewables and innovation. The other clings to fossil fuels and the status quo. The choices made in California could ripple far beyond its borders. California's climate ambitions are now a national and global flashpoint. The state's bold moves are sparking debate, inspiring action, and sometimes igniting fierce opposition. The world is watching, and the pressure is on. The world is watching to see which vision prevails. As leaders gather and citizens protest, the outcome of this struggle will shape not just California's future, but the planet's. The stakes couldn't be higher. In a world facing record heat waves, wildfires, and rising seas, California's choices and its leadership could help determine the fate of generations to come. California's high gas prices aren't a fluke. They're the result of deliberate policy choices made over decades, not just recent years. State and local taxes alone add about 90 cents per gallon, making California's base price among the highest in the nation. On top of that, environmental programs tack on another 54 cents, further widening the gap between California and other states. These extra costs come from programs like Cap and Trade and the Low Carbon Fuel Standard, both designed to make fossil fuels more expensive and push consumers toward cleaner options, such as electric vehicles or public transit. The goal is clear. Use price as a lever to change behavior and accelerate the shift away from gasoline, nudging people to consider alternatives that are better for the environment. In total, Californians pay roughly $1.44 more per gallon due to these state-specific policies, a significant premium compared to the rest of the country. This extra money doesn't just disappear. It helps fund major infrastructure projects, public transportation, and ambitious climate initiatives. It's a conscious choice by lawmakers to invest in a cleaner future. The high price is a feature, not a bug, intended to drive change, even if it sparks frustration and debate among residents. For drivers, though, it's a daily reminder of the cost of California's climate leadership, hitting their wallets every time they fill up. The debate continues. Is this the right way to fund the transition to a greener future, or does it unfairly burden everyday Californians who rely on their cars? For now, Californians are paying the price, literally, while the rest of the country watches to see if this bold experiment will pay off. There's another reason gas is pricier in California: the fuel itself. The state mandates a special cleaner-burning blend to fight smog, especially in cities like Los Angeles. This blend is more expensive to produce and requires specialized refineries. Only a handful of facilities can make it, so any disruption, like a refinery shutdown, can send prices soaring. California can't just import regular gas from other states to fill the gap. This creates a fragile, high-cost energy ecosystem. The special blend has improved air quality, but it's also made the market more volatile. Drivers pay a premium for cleaner air, and for a system vulnerable to supply shocks. The state's unique fuel recipe is both a point of pride and a source of pain. It's a trade-off that defines California's approach to energy and environment. Governor Newsom's team argues that focusing only on gas prices misses the bigger picture. Adjusted for inflation, they say, gas is cheaper now than when Newsom took office. Climate policies, they claim, fund billions in rebates and credits to offset energy costs. The administration points out that when you add up all energy expenses, Californians pay less than residents in 15 other states. Investments in efficiency and clean electricity, they argue, are lowering utility bills even as gas prices rise. For Newsom, high gas prices are a temporary cost of a historic transition. The state's economic growth and emissions cuts are proof, he says, that the model works. The pain at the pump, in this view, is a necessary step toward a cleaner, more prosperous future. California, they insist, is leading the way. Critics see California's climate agenda as a costly failure. They argue high gas and electricity prices hit working families hardest, especially those with long commutes or older cars. For many, these policies aren't incentives, they're financial punishment. Opponents question whether California's efforts make a real dent in global emissions, given the state's small share of the world's total. They warn that high costs are driving businesses and residents to lower-cost states like Texas and Arizona. President Trump's administration has moved to overturn California's strictest rules, calling them overreach. For critics, this is about restoring affordability and reining in what they see as failed experiments. The political battle is fierce, with federal and state governments clashing over who sets the rules. The outcome will shape not just California, but national energy policy. For millions, high gas prices aren't just politics, they're personal. A single mom driving between jobs, a landscaper running a fleet, a delivery driver, all feel the squeeze. Every price hike means tough choices, less for groceries, delayed repairs, longer hours. Wealthier Californians can absorb the costs or switch to electric vehicles, but lower-income residents often can't. The burden falls hardest on those with the fewest options. Older cars, longer commutes, less access to public transit. The result: deepening economic divides and added stress for working families. High energy costs can limit mobility, opportunity, and quality of life. For many, the California dream is overshadowed by the struggle to afford basic transportation. The human cost of climate policy is real, and it's paid at the pump every day. This is the side of the story that numbers alone can't capture. California's gas prices stand in stark contrast to states like Oklahoma, where drivers pay less than $2.50 a gallon. The difference is policy, not just market forces. Red states prioritize cheap, abundant fossil fuels, keeping taxes and regulations low. Their model energy dominance, low costs, and economic growth. California's model higher prices to drive innovation and cut emissions. The divide is philosophical, short-term affordability versus long-term sustainability. Other states are watching. Do they follow Texas's path or California's? Even neighboring states like Nevada and Oregon are adopting elements of California's approach. The national split over energy policy is growing sharper. The choice between these models will shape America's future. California's climate experiment is a test case for the nation. If it succeeds, cutting emissions, growing the economy, and eventually lowering costs, it could become a model for the U.S. and beyond. If it fails, it may fuel backlash against aggressive climate action. The stakes: whether high prices are a necessary bridge to a cleaner future, or an unfair burden on working families. The debate is about timing, fairness, and who pays for the transition. California uses consumer prices as its main lever. The rest of the country is watching the results. The story of California's gas prices is the story of a nation at a crossroads. It's about balancing vision with reality, ambition with affordability. Whether California is paving the way or warning others remains to be seen. One thing is certain: the outcome will shape America's energy destiny for decades.